Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So before it goes too far on the month, I want to show you all the books that I will be reading this month. Through this, I've been working like a fucking beast. So this will probably won't happen. Same thing happened to me last month. Like I read a good chunk of books, but I deviated a lot from my TBR. Still, I want to show you the ones that I have here. The first one that I want to talk about is going to be Berserk. I read volume 1. This is a compendium of 2 volumes, if I'm not mistaken, Maximum of Berserk. I read volume 1 last month. I will be talking about that one on my wrap-up, but I quite enjoyed it. I do have to say that I'm not the hugest fan yet. I think like it was fine, good, enough to keep me going, but I don't feel the love that everyone has yet. So I watched the anime a long time ago, and I've never read the manga, so I've been like trying to actually comprehend this, because the last time that I watched something related to this were some of the films, if I'm not mistaken, and I barely understood them. So now I'm making sense of everything by reading the manga. But yeah, if you've never heard of this, this is a very grimdark fantasy manga where we are going to follow this warrior. He carries this gigantic sword and he has a very like mysterious mark on his neck, and he's going out there for revenge. That's the baseline of the story. I'm going to tell you anything else. It's cool. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm still trying to figure out if I actually really like this or not. The other one that I will be reading is Monster Volume 3. I've been making my way also through Monster, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. So I decided to just read the manga this time around instead of rewatching it. I've been loving it, to be honest. Volume 1 was fantastic. Volume 2 was not as good as Volume 1, but still really good. And I cannot wait to get Volume 3 on my hands. I've been alternating them. Like 1 week I read a little bit of Berserk, the other one I read a little bit of Monster. Just to not just read the same genre over and over again. But in this one we're going to follow a doctor. He is a very like ethical doctor. So in his hospital, when a child and I think it was the president, if I'm not mistaken, or a very like, no, a general, a military general, both come in, he decides to go against the policy of the hospital and just do like this brain surgery on the kid. Turns out the kid might actually be a serial killer. So it's just really cool. It's just really cool. I really like this one and I cannot wait to continue reading it. Well, it's time. I will be reading the Disquiet Gods, finally. This is book 6 in the Sun Eater series. These ones. I do not have a physical copy because the paperbacks that I have collected over the fucking years are not available for me as of right now. It's just so fucking annoying. Let's not into that debate now. But if you've never heard about the Sun Eater series, it's a sci-fi series, a very high sci-fi series. It's just so good. About Hadrian Marlowe, who is a nobleman, and he is, well, by the time we reach him, he basically just blew up an entire solar system, killing millions upon millions of people. So now he's telling us his life story and how he came into contact with the Seal scene, with these other races. It's just really cool. And I love it so much. I think it's turning into my favorite series of all time. Like, don't get me wrong, the Dandelion Dynasty is very easy. Well, not easy. It's very hard to top. But, oh my god, the Sun Eater series, dude, is just, each book just gets better. There's so much suffering in there too. So, another one that I don't have physically, but I really need to get my hands on a physical copy, because this is The Words of Kings and Prophets, which is the sequel to The Children of Gods and Fighting Men, that I read last month, and I adored this book so much. Dude, it was phenomenal. Gave it 5 stars, so I just want to read the sequel, since actually the 3rd book is coming out this month. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read this. In the first one, we mostly follow 2 women. It's just, it has so much political maneuvering. It's amazing. One of them is a queen on the Irish lands, and the other one is this magical creature that is infiltrating which is infiltrating Ireland, and this all happens in this time with, we have like the Catholics and the Vikings converging. It's just, oh man, it's just so good, dude. So good. I've been loving this. I've been loving this. It's amazing. If you like political intrigue, this series is for you. Like, one of the main characters reminds me so much of like Cersei. Amazing. So, this month I will also be reading Exordia by Seth Dickinson. This is the same author as the Trader Baron Cormorant, which is one of my favorite series. I love it so much, honestly. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it's a fantastic series. And this is actually sci-fi horror about a woman who joins like a group that are investigating this transmission, a broadcast that comes into Earth. So yeah, I'm just, this is just like such a common premise, but it keeps me going every single time, dude. Like, I love it when, oh my god, we got a signal far away. I love it. So I will be reading this. And Seth Dickinson writes very like crude, like very hard books dealing with very strong topics. So I'm very curious to see what he does here. You may not believe this, but this month I will be reading The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. I've owned this copy for so many years. The thing is, I hate this copy so much. It's just like the whole like lettering is bold and it just hurts my eyes a lot. So I really dislike it. But I got a different audiobook from the one that I got before. So now I think I might be able to listen to it. But I just really want to try this one. You know, like, I heard so many great things about Tad Williams. I've never read anything by him. And I feel like that's a mistake. So I need to correct that. But this is a multiple POV story, and in here we're going to follow a boy who is an apprentice magician. Then we're going to follow the human realm after the human king dies, so the Sun King tries to reclaim it. And then we also have some prophecy here and there. I just really like this. Like, this synopsis is great. I've heard incredible things, so I just want to read it finally. Then, because I reread the first book 2 months ago, I'm going to be finally reading A Sleight of Shadows. I'm in love with these covers, to be honest. Like, the books are not mind-blowing, but the covers are just some of the best work. Like, the first one is completely white and this is completely black. It's just great. It's just great. But in the first one, we're going to follow Sydney. Sydney belonged to the House of Shadows, which is a house in this magical world that harvests magic against the user's will. They just give it to the other powerful people, basically. So she decides to take a place in this magical tournament who will decide who the next ruling house is in this magical Manhattan, basically. I really liked the first book, to be honest. I actually liked it better upon rereading it, to be honest. But I really want to check out this second book. I don't know, I was very surprised that this actually had a sequel. I don't think it needed. I don't think it did it. But let's check it out. This one, well, not this one. This one is once again on my TBR. I didn't have the time to get to it last month. It was a mission impossible, basically. But I still really want to read this one. It is said that it's more of a dark fantasy. It has a heist and a thief main character, which I don't like that. But still, I've heard like the ambience and the atmosphere of this book is really good. So I really want to try and check it out. And also book 2 has already come out, if I'm not mistaken. So it's probably a series that I can binge read. So let's check it out. Then, will this happen? This is the, let's be hopeful. But I really want to read The Wandering Inn. I tried it a couple of months ago, but it's so long. It's such a long audiobook. It's like 40 hours long. So it's a commitment. But I want to do it. I want to do it. I feel like something fun and something like magical, which we have like a lot of magic going around. Like, I don't want control or of containment. I just want magic everywhere. So I really wanted to read this one. It's basically about a woman being transported into like a fantastical world, and she runs a tavern. So we'll see. But I've heard so many incredible things, especially each time that I talk about sufficiently advanced magic, that I really want to check it out. So I'll check it out this month. Continuing the reads that I did last month, I will be reading The Reluctant Queen, which is the sequel to The Queen of Blood, if I'm not mistaken. The Queen of Renthia series, which I was so surprised by, and I really, really liked it. Even though it's YA fantasy, it just has like a good story. The story is so good. I really like the ending of the first book. So now I'm so curious where this story's going in the second one. So in the first one, we're basically going to be set on this world where the queen controls spirits. But the thing is, the control that the queen has is been slipping lately, and these spirits are fucking brutal. They go into villages and fucking kill everyone. It's very gory, especially the first part. And then we are going to have a survivor trying to learn magic, basically, from one of these villages, and try to become a queen, basically, so she can actually control the spirits that kill her family. It's really cool. I highly recommend it. It's actually multiple POV. This is just one of the stories, but man, is it good. Extremely underrated. Well, second to last, I will be reading NightBitch, because I want something light and quick to just have in the middle of there. It's about a woman who believes it's turning into a dog. And there's a film coming out not so long now. When is it coming out? Next year, I believe. Maybe the end of the year. I don't know. But I've heard really good things. We'll see. And the last one is another classic fantasy. Well, it has a little bit of sci-fi too, because it's also like a portal fantasy where this man is transported into this fantasy world. This is Heroes Die. I've heard barely anything about this other than it's fantastic. And I've had this audiobook for I think 2 or 3 years. So now I will be reading. Don't be deceived by the cover, it's fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. I don't like it at all. But we're going to check this one out. It's like a little bit of the month of classic fantasy, to be honest. But we'll see. So that's going to be all my books for this month. What are you reading this month? Have you read any of these books? Please just let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!